program. Marabu, 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 Ma'asecha Adonai. Kulam b'chokhma, Kulam b'chokhma Sita, Kulam b'chokhma Sita, Kulam b'chokhma Sita. Marabu, 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 Ma'asecha Adonai. Marabu, 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 Ma'asecha Adonai. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Wow, it's great to hear a response to that, actually, from the congregation. It's so wonderful to be together this first summer service of our season, and one of the first times when we all are feeling a bit safer to gather together and join in prayer, welcoming in Shabbat. This is a really wonderful Shabbat, too. It's one of my first back from maternity leave, so I'm just thrilled to be with all of you, which is why I chose those words for our opening song, Marabu Ma'asecha Adonai. How wonderful are your works, O God. Together you have created them. So we look around our world with things blossoming and kind of that deep breath of re-entering the world, and we are so grateful for it. This is a Shabbat of much celebration. It's Pride Shabbat in the Jewish world, so I'll be doing a few special readings and songs to celebrate Pride Shabbat. It's also Juneteenth coming up, and it's also a wonderful day and weekend for Dylan and Andrew, who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow. Dylan's family is here with us tonight, and Andrew may be watching tonight, and we'll see him tomorrow, so I wish a mazel tov to them. There's so much joy here in this room. So we're going to join together in the lighting of Shabbat candles to bring that more light even into this world. I'd like to invite up Dylan and her family to join us on the bima. We're on page 3 in the prayer book. And for those of you who are following with us on the streaming site, Shabbat Shalom and welcome. You can join by clicking on the prayer book link that's right above the video where you're watching us. And for those of you in the sanctuary, we're together in the smaller book that says Shabbat. If it doesn't say Shabbat, go ahead and get yourself a different prayer book so the page numbers match. So we join together on page 3.
As this Shabbat candles give light to all that behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, as may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Beautiful. You can each light one candle, or Dylan, pick up the whole thing from the bottom. Yeah.
You do both of them. Right?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel so much. Shabbat Shalom. Have a seat. We continue with a nigun, the Asheville nigun. We hope that, or I hope that it will let you relax into this Shabbat together, not having to worry about any words, just join together in this melody, revel in each other's voices as we bring in Shabbat together. turn to page 20, joining together in the words of L'Chadodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, and 9, and if you feel comfortable, I invite you to rise for verse 9 and face the door to welcome in the Sabbath bride. Continue on page 28 with the Baruch Hu. You may remain standing as we join together in our call for worship. Honor of Pride Shabbat, I share with you this reading, Twilight People, by Rabbi Reuben Zellman. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are the twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are between roles at the intersection of history or between place and place. We are crisscrossed paths of memory and destination, streaks of light and swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to God, who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define, but we can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim. We continue on page 32, God showing love to us with Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha, Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Same melody again with different words. Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu uv'komeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uve'mitzvotecha Be seated. Continue with Ve'ahavta, chanting together on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני Elohechem. Top of page 39, we read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha on page 40. וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. On page 43, we join together in these words of love and understanding, hoping that our prayer reaches all corners of the world, bringing us closer to that day when we see each other and accept each other for our wholeness of being, for what we present out into the world, and accept it with loving kindness. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, top of page 42. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, shomrenu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. Let there be love. Let there be love and We join together for the tefillah, the center part of our worship on page 46. If you feel comfortable, I invite you to please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanodra, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, somech nofelim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, Melech me'mid u'mechayeh u'matzmiach Yeshua v'neheman atah le'achayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We read together on the top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We will continue silently now. I invite you to use either the words in your prayer book to inspire you or the words of your own heart. Take a few moments for our own silent prayer and meditation. program. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Same thing again. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are justice. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Land of many colors. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We're gentle, loving people. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Take a moment now in our service to think of those in our community in need of healing, healing of the mind, body, or spirit. Tonight, our community is thinking of Alon ben Barbara, Hannah Esther bat Crandall, Hannah Leah bat Yosef Hendel, Yehuda ben Fischel, Henry Botuk, Benaifer Devar, Elizabeth Drabkin, Rachel Duff, Gail Gershman, Adrian Gibson, Jamie Hecker, Martha Kelly, Louis Landsberg, Elise Rosenfeld, and Dennis Stanley. And if you have a name or names you'd like to add to that list, I invite you to do so now.
Aaron Shaw and Wanda Ramsey.
We join together in our prayer, the Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. You can find the words, not in your program, on page 253. I'd like to join us. Misha Berach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of About a year ago, I took my son Oren to his first day of school. In the car on the way, I said to him, "Please, Babala, have a great first day of school. Enjoy. Oh, and Babala, please make sure to eat all the food I packed for you for lunch. I'll be waiting as soon as your day is over to pick you up. I love you, Babala." When school got out, I saw Oren run over to me. He hopped in the car, looking a bit worn from his first day at school. I said, "Babala, how was school?" "Fine," he said. "What did you learn, Babala?" Oren said, "I learned my name is not Babala." Not a true story, but more funny when it's with Oren. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As you know, each summer we choose a theme for our sermonettes, and you may have guessed, this summer's theme is Jewish humor. And because we all know that after the last 15 months, we really need a few laughs, the clergy decided to go with this fun topic. So the joke I just told is one of the classics about children and their, yes, Jewish mothers. And having just come back from maternity leave, I figured this theme might be particularly fitting for me to delve into. So what is it about Jewish mothers? We are seen as being quite possibly the most overbearing, protective of them all. There are endless examples of the Jewish mother in pop culture that simultaneously smother their child with love and guilt them to be better. Who has not heard an example like this one? A bubby and her granddaughter go to see a movie. When they arrive, the bubby says, "Get some popcorn." The granddaughter politely declines the offer. But bubby insists, "No, Mamale, get some popcorn." After the granddaughter refuses once more, the bubby almost screams at her, "Get some popcorn already!" So the granddaughter agrees. After the movie, they go to dinner. The granddaughter barely touches her meal. "Mamale, you have not eaten much of your dinner." "I'm not very hungry," says the granddaughter. "Well, of course you aren't. You ate all that popcorn." Why is it that Jewish mothers are never satisfied? No matter what choices we make as children, Jewish mothers have something negative to say about it. Like the time that a Jewish mother bought her two son two very expensive ties for his birthday. The next time she saw him, he was proudly wearing one of the ties. She said, "What, you didn't like the other tie?" Or imagine, for instance, that Christopher Columbus had a Jewish mother. Some scholars actually say he may have been Jewish. "I don't care what you discovered. You didn't call, you didn't write." Jewish mothers and grandmothers also show pride, or naches in Yiddish, about their children or grandchildren to other people, maybe not to them. Especially when those children or grandchildren become what? Doctors or lawyers, like in this famous joke. A Jewish mother is sitting at her daughter's inauguration as the nation's first female and Jewish president. At the inauguration, a stranger leans over to her and says, "You must be so proud. Your daughter is the president of the United States." The mother responds, "True, but her sister's a doctor." As everybody knows, Jewish mothers and grandmothers, above all else, want to see the young single people in their lives get married and find happiness, like in this classic scene. An older Jewish grandmother sits on a bench every day outside her apartment, watching the goings-on in her neighborhood. One day, a large, heavily tattooed man sits down next to her and starts to smoke a cigarette. She says, "I've never seen you before. Are you from around here?" "No," he says, "I just got out of prison." "For what?" the bubby asks. "I killed my wife," he responds. "Oh, so you're single. I have just the girl for you." Jewish mothers and their guilt-ridden, overbearing love for their children will probably be the source of many jokes for years to come. We worry too much, we have high expectations, and we know how to lay on the guilt. But it all comes from deep, unending love. Let us not forget the classic one-line telegram sent from a mother to her child. Begin worrying, details to follow. Shabbat shalom. We continue now with the Aleinu, the Shabbat. I invite you to turn to page 282 and please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עינות, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Please be seated. Turn now in our service to a moment of memory, thinking of those in our lives we have loved and lost, either in recent days, in the past year, or at this time in years past. We'll take a moment to reflect silently on those whom we have loved, and I just give this reading to also focus our minds to all those in the LGBTQ community who have lost their lives because of who they were at their core. O God, remember today our LGBTQ siblings who were martyred in years past, those murdered by fanatics in the Middle Ages, those who perished in the Holocaust, and those struck down in our own city in our own time. Remember also those who took their own lives, driven by despair by a world who hated them because of their love or gender. And in mercy, remember those who lived lives of loneliness, repressing their true natures and refraining from sharing their love with one another. O God, let us remember them all and help us bring an end to hate and oppression of every kind. Take a few moments for silent reflection. As we read the names tonight that our congregation is thinking of and remembering, if this is a loved one of yours, I invite you to please rise as I say their name. Tonight we are thinking of Estella Gass, mother of Winifred Hogel, Stuart Freudberg, husband of Lynn Gutter, and father of Adam, Michael, and Daniel. They are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. And we're also remembering this evening Pauline Axman, Anne Alexander, Ida Auerbach, Julius Balin, Shraga Barcella, Gloria Barkan, Herman Berkovitz, Cato Berkovitz, Sando Berkovitz, Zanette Berkovitz, Joyce Boyask, Rosalie Brookstein, William Chalmer, Morton Charleston, William Cody, Abram Cohen, Lionel Cohen, Spencer Cohen, Martyrs of Direction, Julie Pajoli's father's hometown, David Eber, Ruth Alinsky, Adolf Fetter, Henry Feinberg, David Fink, Walter L. Gerson, Marcia Gilman, Martha Goldberg, Raymond Goldstein, Joel Goodman, Sheila Harris, Myron Hinden, Isidore Itzkow, Carol Jewell, Morris Kales, Moise Campius, Adrian Kaplan, Michael Lang, Rosa Langsman, Sydney Lelchuk, Joyce Levy, Maudie Lynn, Eva Nazer, Milton Orenstein, Franklin Pack, Philip Portney, Samuel Raff, Robert Reif, Martin Rosenberg, Eugene Ross, Louis Rudolph, Moshe Rudy, Joseph Saul, Timothy Seda, Bernard Schlossberg, Bernard Schwartz, Leon Schwartz, Elia Sebastiani, Lillian Seiden, Rachel Scher, Lorraine Silverman, Blanche Silverman, Nat Silverman, Martha Simon, Stephen Stearman, Sydney Sterling, Gilbert Weil, Albert Weinstein, Marion Weinrib, Bernard Wellens, Herman Wind, Zvi Tzioni, and Seymour Sloth. I invite you to share a name with our community, if you are remembering them, or to say the name that perhaps I might have mispronounced again if I mispronounced it. We join together with those who mourn by rising together with them shoulder to shoulder as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, B'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'galau v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudashah brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of them be for a blessing in our lives. Please be seated. It's an honor to invite Jeffrey Levy up to give us some announcements and words of welcome.
Shabbat shalom. I'm going to take these off so I can see you. keep fogging up. As always, of course, announcements are on the back of the program. I won't read those to you. But I will share, I have the privilege of working with the Social Action Committee and the Israel Committee as a member of the board. And I want to highlight for you a couple of things that are going on around those concepts. One is that in the fall, we're going to be having a 3-weekend symposium on Palestinian and Israeli issues. I encourage you to look for signups for that. I think we've already had one letter come out from Rabbi Schwartzman about it. I think it's going to be a phenomenal event. I also encourage you, and Sarah, help me out, dialogues on racial justice, racial equity. The Temple is sponsoring a series of conversations. They are designed to be moderated, facilitated conversations about racial equity. And I participated in one a few weeks ago. It was a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend that you sign up for those. Keep an eye open for those in the e-letter and other advertisements. And then I want to, of course, welcome you to our new building. If you haven't had a chance to be in here yet, one thing you can see is we have new carpeting in here. There's also, of course, a lot more to the building. And Hannah Moore is going to be leading a tour at 4:30 on Monday. So send her a note or look on the website for opportunities to sign up and get a tour of our new building. So that, Shabbat Shalom. And sorry, and congrats to our B'nai Mitzvah kids this weekend.
Thank you, Jeffrey. We continue with the Kiddush on page 5. I invite you to please rise if you feel comfortable doing so. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagadol. Shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. Chaim. Please be seated. Before we conclude, I would just like to thank. You okay there, Jeffrey? Breaking things? Just like to thank everybody who helped make this service possible. I really appreciate everyone's hard work to make things accessible for us here in the building and also at home on the streaming. And also a little shout out that next week we continue, of course, our summer service theme, but the amazing Madeline LeBeau is going to be the Cantor soloist next week. So come here, homegrown talent, a beautiful singer home from college. And it's going to be a really lovely service, so I encourage everybody to come back next week. We are going to conclude our service with the words, Hine ma tov, because how good certainly it is to be back together in person. It's so wonderful. So let's join in these words. You can find them on page 10. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Same thing again. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat shalom, everyone. May you have a beautiful weekend ahead.